Pit stop check. We've got our snacks and are ready to hit the road.
Today we're exploring America's largest collection of funeral memorabilia right here in the Lone Star State. Come on in and let's take a look.
Join Joe as he chronicles his road trips through the cities, towns, highways, back roads, and various regions of the Lone Star State. This is Texas Chronicles with Joe Perez. My adventure takes me to Houston, Texas. The National Museum of Funeral History is located at 415 Barron Springs Drive in Houston, Texas.
Well, today you're standing in the National Museum of Funeral History. It started in 1992 and it now houses the largest collection of funerary items and also items from our industry.
The National Museum of Funeral History is an educational experience like no other and offers a little something for everyone. Discover America's largest collection of authentic historical funeral service items. Learn about caskets and coffins, hearses throughout history, plus the funerals of presidents, popes, celebrities, and more while you witness the cultural heritage of the funeral service industry and its time-honored tradition of compassion.
There's a lot of misconceptions, and it starts with our name. The National Museum of Funeral History, I think, stops a lot of people in their tracks of not actually wanting to come here because of what we represent. We represent the dead. And unfortunately, so many of us in life have a taboo about death. We fear our own death, and death is just something that's not talked about much in our society. Although we captivate it through entertainment, but talking about the reality of death is just something we're still real foreign to. And so I think coming to a museum that embraces everything death is very uncomfortable for some people. Now you're standing in our exhibit, Thanks for the Memories. This exhibit I call sensory overload. There is so much here to see, but most importantly, I believe there's so much here to relate to. This exhibit here is to showcase all of those who have touched our lives throughout time and somehow have left some type of a legacy and or a memory through an experience or creation that they had in life, through their entertainment that they gave to us, through their music that they still leave behind today. This is a truly fascinating exhibit. We have everybody from Marilyn Monroe to Steve Jobs, Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor, and Robin Williams. Anybody who was somebody who made a difference in our society, we try to showcase them here in this exhibit. We also feature Walt Disney. He was fascinated with death, and he shows that through all of his movies. If you think about it, there's probably not one cartoon that Disney has not made where death has not been a part of it. So as you can see, this exhibit and this museum really captivates the interest of all ages and all family members. Probably one of our most fascinating collections here are our coffins from Ghana, West Africa, also known as fantasy coffins. These were actually some of the original pieces from Connie Ekwe, who was the original artist for these magnificent hand wood carved pieces. They are actually designed to depict what the person actually did in their life or hope to achieve in their afterlife. So many people who may have been a farmer or a fisherman would go into a cow or into a fish. Maybe those that wish to travel the world would actually go into an airplane. There are many fascinating different types of these pieces, and they still make them today. We have an actual Pope mobile that St. John Paul II had actually rode in his visit to the United Kingdom in 1982. We also have a sash that St. John Paul II wore daily with his cassock. It's an amazing exhibit, and I challenge each and every one of you to come out and see what this exhibit entails and how far back we actually go. One of our most popular photo shoots is our 1921 Rockville's hearse. This is an actual hand-carved wood-paneled piece, very unique to the industry, but also very, very popular. This is an interesting vehicle that if you look at the intricate detail on the side panels, to understand how somebody could actually take a piece of wood and a tool and create those amazing curves. I know I couldn't do it, but I think it's an amazing piece, and it's something truly you've got to see with your own eyes.
With permanent exhibits like celebrating the lives and deaths of the Pope, Day of the Dead, fantasy coffins from Ghana, historical hearses, the history of embalming, Japanese funerals, presidential funerals, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, 19th century mourning customs, and 9/11 and Fallen Heroes tribute.
Well, if you're definitely in the state of Texas, the National Museum of Funeral History has to be on your to-do list, or your bucket list, I should say, because in all honesty, Texas is the only state that houses this magnitude of a museum that covers this much information and has this much history within it in one location. Again, Houston is the home of the National Museum of Funeral History, and there's no other museum like it in the world.